Good times, my fellow humans. If it is not good, then it's about to get better. Welcome to the Be Different podcast. My name is Nekesa Ochieng, and I am glad to have you here.
And we are on! I'm super excited. Welcome to another exciting episode of Be Different podcast. I'm so excited. I have my biggest fans, my biggest cheerleaders, my biggest critics, my best of friends, my LG today. So I will let each and everyone introduce themselves. We have the most, in terms of guests, we've never had more than 2 guests in an episode. So karibuni, my name is Nekesa Ochieng, definitely your host. So let's start with the introduction. Clara, you can go.
Oh, hi guys. My name is Clara Aurora. I'm a wife, a mom to 1 boy turning 3 in a few days' time. I'm a petroleum geoscientist. And I'm a member of this wonderful group. I've been a member for the last 7 years, and I'm happy to be here today.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. That's our nerd. Meskia, petroleum geoscientist. How many do you know in Kenya? We're so happy to have you, Clara. Can we have Joy go next?
Hey guys, I'm no visitor to this podcast. I'm sure you've heard my voice before. Episode, the first 10, I feature somewhere.
Hello people, my name is Alfonso Chieng, husband to this podcast.
Really?
I'm an IT consultant, I'm a photographer, and I'm a husband to 1 and a father to 2 girls, 4 years and 1 year. Karibuni.
Thank you so much, guys. So we are just going to have a discussion around what we do mostly. This is called a life group. Some people have mentioned our name is Simama, although that's not like the final. We're always arguing about our name. So we are yet to settle. But we've been on since ideally we started in 2012. Then the group has evolved a lot. And 2015, I believe, that's when we did and it's like a discipleship course called Simama, and now we stuck with the name. So and we've been doing life together, but that's what we're here to talk about. Every Thursday we meet. I just want each and every one of us to give their own opinion or view. So what does it mean to be accountable to each other? Joy, are you in a position to finish introducing yourself, then answering the question?
Okay, great. Thank you. Work from home and other experiences. This is where it has brought us. I'm super excited to be here. I featured in the top 5 or top 10 first episodes. So sure you're not... my voice is not new on this podcast, and I'm super excited to be here. So my name is Joy Akinyon Wande. Recently, Mrs. Waraga, as recent as 6 years. I don't know, I still say recently, but well. A mother of 2. We are blessed with 2 beautiful girls, Modoni and Angie. And in my current season, I have my hands in a lot of things. I'm a homeschool teacher. I run a kids club. I own a curio shop, and a lot of part-time stuff that I do. I also do a little design work, So that's me in a nutshell. And what does accountability mean to me? So when I thought about the word accountability, the only thing that came to mind, or the other synonym that was similar to me that came to mind, was transparency. And because some of these things, in terms of transparency, we expect transparency from our government, from our church leaders, our church systems. We expect transparency in different facets of our lives. But how about our own personal life, The same way we run an organization is the same way we run our lives. So when I think about accountability, I just think about transparency. That's what comes to mind.
Wow. Thank you, Joy. Clara, do you have your answer on what you think, or what are your thoughts on accountability?
Okay, my opinion of accountability is having someone or a group of people that you can entrust with the responsibility of checking on you in terms of maybe goals that you've set, maybe if it's career goals, it's marriage, relationship, whatever kind of goals that you've set, and having these people to constantly check on your progress in whatever you've entrusted them to.
Wow. Okay, guys, another member called Winnie, who's not too well, but she just sat in. So Winnie, if you can, if you're in a position to type your answers, I'll be ready and willing to read them out. Thank you, Clara. That's a very interesting perspective. So, Alphonse?
I also had a synonym for accountability. The IT terms we call, I thought about a tracker. What a tracker does, a tracker will track your progress. It will track your progress. It will track everything that the system is meant to do. So thinking of a tracker in terms of human relationships is just someone who will, or a group of people who track your progress, who you keep communicating about how life is happening in your case, and every goal that you set, every plan that you set, everything that you say that you will do, the other people act as a reminder. So
thank you, Alphonse. So we have another guest who's just joined, Yvette Karibu. We were waiting for you. We've just started, so you haven't missed much. So we've just started, and we're on the first question. So you can just briefly introduce yourself and then answer what we do as an LG. What does it mean to be accountable to each other?
So my name is Yvette. Hi everyone, it's nice to see you. I am a mom, I am a podcaster, a businesswoman, a wellness enthusiast, and all that. And I'm a child of God. LG, what does it mean to be accountable to each other in LG? First of all, the word accountability me just scares me. When I think being accountable to someone, I'm just like, oh God, now they're just going to be calling me out on my mess. But what it means to be accountable to each other in an LG or on LG is, first of all, you have cheerleaders. So people who you obviously have people who are constantly cheering you and telling you, oh, you did that? That's really good. Keep up. I think if you challenge yourself in this way, you can be able to do even more. Another thing is you have people who will call you out on your slacking, call you out on your misgivings. But the most important thing to me is just to be able to have a squad of people who genuinely care about you and are rooting for you no matter what. So that gives you a sense of comfort and it makes you feel special, but it also makes you feel, more courageous to just take risks and know that there are people rooting for you and praying for you and just hoping you do the thing. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for giving that perspective, Yvette. So from my point of view, from my perspective, initially when I joined LG and when I met this group of people rather, and what I found them doing, it was first, honestly, it was a bit hard for me because I wasn't used to talking about my weaknesses, talking about my shortcomings, talking about, because it was from a religious background. To be honest, I usually felt like after I've already prayed or after I've already told God all my issues and my things, then why should I come and repeat again, not to people? So what came to mind for me, it's a Bible verse, the one for confess your sins one to another. And of course, there was some resistance, like you know. So for me, being accountable is kushinda nimewaambia dhambi zangu. I tell you my sins, I tell you my things, I tell you my stuff, like really exposing myself. And of course, it didn't come natural to me, and I struggled with it. I struggled with it before I got the hang of it. So I just wanted to maybe talk about, is accountability, is it stopping us in any way? I like your different views, but has it stopped you from doing wrong things, or has it stopped you from living fully in any way? So we'll just go with the same way. But just before, let me just say something. Just before, Winnie has typed in that my name is Winnie Kodawa. I'm a communications professional with a focus on strategic communication and computer-mediated communication. I joined this life group in 2012. Thank you for that introduction, Winnie. So you can just tell us in the comments how we do the accountability thing. What is it to you, in your opinion? And now we are going to the question of, has it stopped us? Has it stopped you from doing anything wrong? Has it stopped you from living your life fully? Yeah.
For me, accountability is like, in quotes, an audit. It's like people who care about you, and people who are constantly checking on you, and people who are constantly concerned about your progress, about your whereabouts. And we are humans, and you know that so many times we wake up every day, we set goals, or we make resolutions, New Year's resolutions, and every day we want to change, want to be better people. But just like an organization, if you just let and you just do your own thing, and there are no consequences of your actions, whether good or bad, definitely you won't have the need of doing whatever you want to achieve. So for me, accountability is very important in terms of, it's not like policing someone to make sure that that person doesn't do the wrong thing. Accountability can be in both positive actions and negative. It doesn't mean that you only like check on the negative things, but it can also be positive things. It's like something that encourages you to reach a certain milestone that you've set for yourself, or to or whatever actions or goals that you want to achieve. It's like a constant encouragement to someone. Yeah.
Thank you, Clara. Joy?
I would probably describe myself as very, for lack of a better word, stubborn. And I think many of you know this. So in terms of accountability, it's okay. I think for me, what has happened is I've seen a lot of growth over time in terms of the areas that I was really struggling, and then several years later, and I think we were having a conversation with Winnie yesterday. She's like, "You've really grown," and what accountability has done for me, it has helped me grow. Yeah, it has helped me take very tough. I don't want to call it a decision, but very tough love. Yeah, it has helped me really take in tough love, because it's like you either take it or you don't. You know, it's either you burn or you take my advice. So and you move with it. So I think what accountability has made me do, it has. I would say why I started by saying I'm stubborn is I more often than not would go back to my old ways. I would more often than not do the things and then report after it has been done. So it doesn't necessarily stop me. It just it gives me a space to come and talk about what had happened after the thing has happened. So that's where the stubbornness comes. But I've learned that that's not accountability. That's you're coming to report or confess. There's a difference. Accountability is you come and say before, especially if you know what you're doing. Is a bit shifty. And so for me, that has helped me really grow in terms of just how I react. Grow in terms of just how I take in and process. Yeah, because even if you're doing the same exact action, and you have to go and say nimefanya hivi over and over again, there's no sense of growth. Two, unaona aibu. At some point you start to feel like, surely, I'll go back and say the same story. Like, what's up? And because you'll be saying the same story, it'll be like, okay, have we not been here? Have we not spoken into this thing? What action have you done to pull yourself or do better? So I don't think accountability has stopped me from living life. If anything, it's helped me have life and life in abundance.
Wow, Joy, I like that. I can resonate with you on the being stubborn. Number two, on the coming to report, I can totally resonate with you. But also what you've said that I really liked is someone coming to report the same thing over and over again. It's interesting that you say that as if that has ever stopped any of us. Like, I feel like we've always come back with the same stories, but it's not like we've tumechoka. Like, we never got tired of each other at the end of the day. We just continued with, if it's asking that person, then what are the steps you're going to take? Can we start with this? Can we start with this? Like, in terms of stubbornness, we're all in the same WhatsApp group. Let me just read what Winnie has said before we go to the next person. Accountability to me is being totally honest about your actions and your life's journey with a few people who are close to you and whom you have agreed to walk through the path of life together. That's really nice, Winnie. Yvette.
First of all, I resonate with Joy and say I am equally stubborn, but I think my stubbornness stems from not being able to take feedback well, especially negative feedback. I was like, Sister, you're telling me as wrong. And why are you telling me? And why are you feeling the need to tell me so much? Why is your opinion count? Why does your opinion count? And so I noticed this. I've noticed this over the past year that I genuinely don't take feedback very well. And so it's something that I'm consciously working on. Anytime, especially in the workspace, I'm given feedback, I always tell myself, it's nothing personal. It's just business. I have to repeat that in my head over and over. So I think what has helped me with taking feedback and just navigating accountability in life group is knowing that these people genuinely care about me. So they are celebrating my wins with the same energy they are frowning upon my nonsense. So knowing that they genuinely care about me has allowed me to take feedback, even when it's not cute, even when it's not what I want to hear. That helps me take feedback with a bit of grace. Has it enabled me to be better? Yes. Me, I'm a chief procrastinator. I will do. But when you know you need to report something, you're there saying, hey, even if I'm just going to do a bit today, let me go and do so I can report something. And it enabled me to go beyond my comfort zone. Me napenda comfort zone. I like it when things are rosy and they're cute and everything is flowing and I don't have to go above and beyond. But now, then it makes you think perhaps I should stretch my comfort zone a little bit.
Oh, that's lovely, Yvette. Thank you. I feel you on the not taking feedback vizuri positively. So, Alphonse, it's your turn. Yeah.
What I can say about, yes, it has stopped me from doing wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I share the idea that I have, that I want to do. Whether it's wrong or bad, I don't know. To me, it was the best option that I have. But when I share it to the group or the people I'm accountable with, they all give their opinion, their wisdom. Let me not say the opinion, they all give their wisdom. And then from there, we make an informed decision. So whatever I end up doing, like I think there's a time I wanted to quit a place I was working in. What actually happened is what I decided to write, I shared with the group. But now the group actually kind of edited it. it's now because mine was harsh. It was very harsh. It was very wrong. So when I shared with the group, they edited it and they made it look like I'm leaving for better things. And as in it's like the email sounds as if we'll still be in communication even after this if another opportunity comes. And yeah, that's what I did. It was the most difficult thing I had to do, but accountability helped. And I knew these are the people that I can be best accountable with. So yeah, accountability has helped me a lot, and it helps me do things right.
Thank you, Alphonse. So I remember when I joined the life group, and then I was paired up with Winnie and Joy. At the time, they were prayer partners, and I was added as a third, like the third person in the prayer partnership. And when I found them, so we had to they had to include me. So we used to have conference calls, and then we used to share. So at first, it used to be like I was honestly blank. I rarely got things to share. And Winnie and Joy could go on and on. My friends. So they could talk. So I'm just hearing, and I'm hearing the way they're asking each other questions. Actually, Joy and Winnie, I learned from you guys. For me, it wasn't an easy thing to do, to like open up to that extent. And honestly, I found it interesting, and why I picked us to discuss this, it was a very new concept for me. I think not everyone understands this side of life, or like life is supposed to be done this way, even if it's not religiously based. I don't know. I see people having their boys group, their girls group, but I don't know to what extent they share their lives, and to what extent they do what we do. Because there's a lot of cheerleading here, there's a lot of encouragement, there's a lot of holding hands, crying with you, laughing with you, and I really like that. And my point is, it really took me so long to get around to it. When did you come across the aspect of accountability and the issue of group dynamics, them going well, them going wrong, and what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, for me, I think this is my first accountability group, and I don't think I have any other accountability group. My first time joining this group, I was so scared. I mean, just like what you just shared, Nekesa, people are talking so very intimate things that you can't just tell anyone. Like you can't even tell your best friend. There are those things that you can't tell anyone. You can't even tell your boyfriend, but people are freely talking about those things, and I found people were very real in terms of no one was judging. At the same time, people would criticize you, like, kama ni mbaya, we cannot sugarcoat, we are not sugarcoating anything so that you can be happy. So for me, it took me a while to finally open up and share. And trust me, the first time I shared, I went home feeling healed. Like, I mean, you can just find people who are that kind, who are that loving, and you just tell them your stuff, and no one at all will be I did this and that. No one will tell you what, why, how. Like, there's that criticizing, but it's not like from a judging point of view. Like, okay, the next time I think you should do this and this instead of what you do. So I found this group to be very good, because at the same time, the accountability comes from the aspect of Christianity. It's not just accountability for the sake of pouring out your heart. It's accountability for the sake of getting to getting the perspective or the opinion from what God says about the situation, or what God says about what you're being accountable for. So I think for me, it's a very, very good group because I've grown so much in very many different ways, in very many different areas of my life, because I have people I know that I can tell them the truth without hiding anything. Like, it's not easy for you to just tell people, I did this and that because of a certain reason. Like, you just don't find people that you can just open up to and just tell them, like, very, like, nilifanya hivi na hivi na, like, there are those things that you just can't tell people. So for me, it's been very helpful in so many different areas, because we realize that in most cases we just do things for the sake of doing them. We don't know why we are doing them, but it's very good even in just today's world, there's so many things going on, very many different things, and it's become a place that is very confusing for most youths, And I will tell someone, if you're just out there alone, there's so many things going on, and if you don't have people to talk to, it's very easy for you to mess yourself up, like to mess your life up, because so for me, I think I've grown in so many different ways, and I feel so loved, I feel so comforted, I feel very comfortable that I can just call anyone anytime and someone will just pick up and they will have time to talk to you.
Joy?
Now, the first time I experienced accountability, and I think for me, as I say this, it goes hand in hand with the word vulnerability, because I've had vulnerable being mentioned before. I think by Clara, she's mentioned the word vulnerability. The first time I encountered this thing, because I haven't encountered it growing up, I haven't encountered it at work, I haven't encountered it in any other circle. It has been very unique to this specific circle of mine, was when we did Mizizi. So I think, as Nekesa explained, Mizizi is a 10-week experience. Now, Mizizi is usually led by, people, spiri people, for lack of a better word, people who are not religious, people who are in the church circles, yeah? So just think about your pastor saying, by the way, I'm struggling with pornography. Hiya. Is that even a conversation that, this person is supposed to be next to God? Like, it puts you a bit uncomfortable, or it changes your perspective about, or it makes you question your perspective about who you think church people are. So that's the first time I encountered vulnerability and accountability. And from then I've run with it. It was based off of that one experience. And the one thing that I know, which is my truth, is without you must be vulnerable for any relationship to grow. That is my truth, and that's my principle, and that's what I run with. And I'm not scared to speak about the things that I've done, things that I've experienced, because I'm sharing out of a place of victory. And I always say this: if anything I've told you, even if you're my best of best friends, if today you stand on national TV, and I had you repeat the same story about me, I'm not ashamed about it, because I have the healing that I have gone through. So that was part of my Mizizi Simama experience. And so that's where I encountered accountability and vulnerability from.
Thank you, Joy. Just before Yvette goes, let me read what Winnie says. Accountability has given me an opportunity to have people watch over me. It's like having a third eye in your life. It's having people who have your best interest at heart. They protect you from hurting yourself and applaud you for doing great things. Hence, accountability hasn't prevented me from living my life, but it's made me live my life with so much awareness in both my strengths and weaknesses. I love that, Winnie. Thanks for sharing. Yvette can answer.
First, maybe I'll say, before I joined LG, I had been scared kidogo. So I had instances where you maybe you've told someone your business, or you're sharing and you're trying to be accountable to one another, and then you're here, your business in a squad where people there have no business sharing your business. And so that over time made me feel like, okay, maybe it's just me and Jesus who need to know about me. And then I can just be accountable to myself also, because it's easy and it's comfortable. So if I don't do it, I'm just like, whatever, it's just me who knows. And so I had come, and then I also saw people who were maybe had a group of people who they were accountable to, and who they would share experiences and do stuff. I always used to think, oh, they're just like, that's just a clique. They think they know it all. I had a very negative connotation towards, having an accountability group, or just having a squad of people who you can be answerable to, who you can just call my people. And so when I came into LG, I was very skeptical. I didn't even dip my finger, I dipped my toe. Unajua migundi aziogopangi maji baridi. I dipped my toe. I was like, hey, I want to see how it goes. And I was blown away by the level of vulnerability and honesty. And even so people have this thing where they ask you, how are you? And you're like, I'm fine, how are you? I'm fine, even me, I'm fine. And here it's, how are you? Okay, thank you for giving us the PR answer. Okay, now how are you really? And so that's where you come in and say, me, I've had such a bad day, or me, I've had such a good day. And you're able to share genuinely about the space you're in. No judgment, no heat, no nothing. And if there's something that makes me look forward to LG, and just having a group of people who you're accountable to and vulnerable with, is just that. And knowing that everybody, we are all just winging it. And so when everybody comes with their mess and is honest about it, and no one is trying to be perfect or anything, like we're just being our authentic selves. That for me, that is everything. So this is as an adult after many years, this is my first time finding a squad where we are accountable to one another, we are talking, we are vulnerable, we are genuine, and I'm loving it. So that has been how I came across accountability in this phase of my life. And how is it going? So far, it's going well. And so you people have not allowed me to get busy. In fact, Joy called me out in a very loving way. I always think about this when I'm thinking of Missing LG. Actually, Yvette, you're so brilliant. I see how you market your business, you do ABCD. So that's brilliance and consistency. So you channel it on LG as well. So here we also see how you can thrive and blossom in just being consistent. And as I said, I never take feedback really well, but I don't know why I took that so well. I took it so well, and I have been consistent, and now I'm here, and honestly, I'm so glad. So yeah.
Love that. Thanks for sharing, Yvette. Yvette is our latest member, and we just love her energy. Alphonse?
I came to this group. I found people sharing. At first, yes, I was. You see, a tortoise. Like, I will hear what people are saying, but when it comes to my time to share, I'll just enter into my shell. Let people see. Like, I'll just share like basic things about my life, but I won't go deep. The group aspect has really, it took time for me to adapt, but it has really helped me, because how can you be in a group of this many people and they're all opening up about areas of their lives, career, business, marriage, you name it, even what they're thinking or even what they're struggling with, it can be even to as simple as in it's real. In this group, this is the first time I've also encountered it. For the past 5 or 6 years, I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it, and it has shaped me in so many ways. That's why you'll hear a lady saying a story. Like, it's easy for them to open up because they are emotional beings. They are not to say that we are not emotional beings. We are all emotional beings, but for women, it's slightly more. And their brains are interconnected to the sense that if they open up about one thing, it will open up something else. Like they can even share their whole life in an hour. Okay, an hour is too little, but they can open up their whole life just from one conversation. But for men, we have, I think, is it Grungo or somebody said that, like our brains are in boxes. We'll open one box called career. Talk about career until we finish. I close that box. Then we look at each other, like as men, we look at each other and then maybe just talk, do a small talk, and then now open up marriage. But the things that are deep, that are personal, it's hard for a man to open up. And it takes intentionality for a man to actually say, come and tell another man, this is what I'm going through. And it's something that men are suffering from, which I've seen in the out in the world. Men are really suffering from opening up because they are bottling up a lot of things, and they end up having some funny sicknesses. And that's why I think men have shorter lifespan. But when you get a group like this and you actually open up, because yes, I open up to the other guy in this group, and sometimes also when we have a prayer partner with him, and at times we open up as to the whole group, even where the ladies are, and it really helps. Like you actually hear both sides, a man's perspective and a woman's perspective, and you make an informed decision. But it's hard for men to open up, just simply because you've been told you're the man, you need to be strong, you need to be masculine, you need to own up whatever you've done or whatever you're going to do. You're the leader, you can't be seen as crying and being vulnerable. Yeah, and there's a group I'm in where it's just men, and by the way they really talk and they really open up about their lives, and I'm like, I've never seen this before. So yeah, that's us.
Wow, thank you. So basically, this group was started after a discipleship course that we did called Mizizi, which is run by Mavuno. And over the years, we are really encouraged after going through the discipleship course, then to form this life group and to live life together, because like Joy has mentioned, you hear someone as high up as your pastor struggling with something. None of us is special, none of us is exempt. Like we all have different struggles. So basically it's just doing life together, sharing the same values, and just pulling each other back, giving each other hope. The way life has these waves, going up, going down. There are times you are full of hope. There's a time your friend has zero. They're like, no, I'm done, I've reached my end. So we just help each other through their life cycles. So would you recommend for someone who is out there, it's any group of people?
Myself?
Yes, Joy, you can go, and also do your parting shot as you answer that.
Okay, yes. So would I recommend? I think sometimes when we think about accountability or vulnerability, it may sound like such a long word, such a big word, it can just feel very overwhelming sometimes, yeah? But this is what I would say as I recommend. Just think about it as therapy, just think about it as, for the Catholics, think about it as confession, just think about it as, just having a conversation, yeah? Don't think about, I'm reporting myself, don't think about, sometimes it's just, you just need somebody to listen. Sometimes that's where the healing comes from. Sometimes the confessing is where the healing is. And so, yeah, highly recommend at every level, from when you're a child, as easy as, so how was your day to day? How are you feeling? How can I help you? We set a lot of goals with my kids. Yes, so highly, highly recommend. Think about it as therapy. Think about it as just conversations, continuous conversations with people who you consider mentors or can speak into your situation or speak into your life and just give wisdom and knowledge. So my parting shot is, as you think about accountability, and we usually talk about, is it the 3 A's or the 4 A's? For me, the thing that comes to mind is life and life in abundance, yeah? Accountability has really helped me grow and really foster my friendships and my friendship bonds. Just sharing of my story very boldly, very authentically. And also it has helped me to also give a listening ear as somebody else is sharing of their own lives.
I love it. Thank you, Joy. Yvette?
Would I recommend having accountability partners to young people? Yes, especially young people. I'll borrow from Joy and say we are in a generation where we can really shout about our winning. So it's nice to have accountability partners or people who you can talk to and share with, just so you can know that as much as you feel you have struggles, there are also people who are struggling, maybe not even as much as you are, maybe even more, but we are all struggling. And when you're winning, just to know that you're patting yourself on the back and saying, yes, you're doing well, but there are also people who are genuinely just happy for you and are cheering you on. It also exposes you to opportunities. And, just knowing that you have, there's so much power. And I like quoting this by Maya Angelou. It says, a quote by Maya Angelou, it says, I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. When you have people behind you, rooting for you, cheering you on, praying for you, people who love you genuinely, there's like a confidence that you get. When you show up in a room, whether it's an interview, whether you're pitching for business, whether you're doing whether you're going for a date and you're not, you know that you're coming as one, but you're standing at 10,000. And so knowing that you have people who are behind you and all that, that's really good. My parting shot would be, because we are all scared of coming into a group where we can be accountable and we can love on each other and we can support each other, is because of the cattiness and the wickedness that we've all experienced at some point as a result of being vulnerable or trying to be part of a squad and all that. So I would say, if you're listening to this, please be the light that you so much want to receive. So just be the light that you want so much to receive. And as a result, we just see things changing and we can all just be better and do better. And accountability is good. I am loving it. I am enjoying it. And I pray for everyone to experience it at any point of their lives.
Gosh, thank you, Yvette. Okay, Alphonse?
Yeah, I've gone through a series of thoughts regarding urging for accountability to young people. Yes, I would advocate for that. I would highly advocate for that. Stories that when we were in campus, there's a group of people where there's a person, either just one or a group of people who you actually are really close with or are tight with. And you used to realize when you're 2 or 3, you guys can actually do anything. It's like you can conquer the world. You guys know you walk in the middle of the road and no one can tell you anything. This is a campus mind. So what that says about accountability, it gives you strength, just as Yvette said, like it gives you that confidence that you can actually can accomplish anything. My parting shot would be, do not be afraid to open up. Try and share that thing that you think it's absurd or it's too personal, and you'll be shocked that the other party has gone through worse, and you'll be the one consoling the other person. So try.
Yes, I would highly recommend for young people to have an accountability group, also like an LG group that is Christian based. As Yvette has mentioned, life out there is really hard. You don't have to do it alone. You need people to work with. Yeah.
Joy has said, want to go fast, walk alone. Want to go far, walk as two. I believe it's also Joy who mentioned that it's like therapy. I really like that because I resonated with that. How much I have learned and how much I have grown being in an LG. I have learned how to deal with people gracefully. I've seen how they've dealt with me, my shortcomings, and I've also learned we are not the same. We are all different parts of one body. A hand is important, a leg is important. Everyone is coming to form a certain part of now in Christianity we say Christ's body, but we are all coming together to fulfill a certain purpose. And it's interesting that I've taken to other spaces in my life, like in my family. I've brought them back to my home to try and practice some things. I have really, really benefited from just being in an LG. I think that's my biggest. If you have not had anything throughout this session, just know that it's really, really, really beneficial and important to be in a group where you can. It's not about competition. It's not about who's doing what. We all understand that we're all on different paths, and our work is to support each other, right? To get to be the best that we can be, each in our own spaces. That's it on accountability. Let's hear your thoughts, your comments. You can also give us your suggestions or a review generally of this podcast, of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. It's been a blast. Have a good one.
It is always a pleasure to have hosted you. Thank you for listening. Follow us on the socials, Instagram and Twitter at BeDifferentKE, at I am Nekesa. Facebook is Nekesa Ochieng. Let's keep talking.